Hello, this is Ms. DB, and in this video we're going to go over how to do a few of the problems from the 2-8 more solving, that's supposed to say two-step equations worksheet. And this picks up from a bit of review from what we did in the last week's folder, and then just kind of a little bit more practice with it, and this type, which we didn't do a lot of work with, where the first thing to do in this one is to multiply both sides by 4. So here's several different examples of two-step equations, and in each one you look for the variable. Once you find it, you think to yourself, what's being done to that variable? Well, this one's being multiplied by 4, and then 3 is added. So to solve, you work backwards, and you first would subtract 3 and then divide by 4. That's the one we've practiced with most. The next one, here's the variable again. I can't highlight it. Oh, I can because I can draw here. So the 7 is the variable. The first thing that's being done is it's being divided by 4, and then 3 is being subtracted. So to solve, you would first add 3 and then multiply by 4. Now here in this one, our variable again is z. 3 is being added, and then the whole thing is divided by 4. So the first thing you do to solve this is you multiply, which is the opposite of dividing. We multiply both sides by 4, and then we subtract 3. So that one's a little different. So in these first 5 problems, you're not solving, you're explaining what the variable is, and then what's being done to it right now. And then the opposite is to work backwards. So we're going to explain how to solve. Let's do number 5. So here's the variable. So for the first line it says 2 is what? 2 is being subtracted from, I can't quite get all that in there. 2 is being subtracted from the variable, and then the result is that whole thing is being divided by 5. So to solve, we first start with this part, the divided by 5 part. So the first thing we'll do to solve is the opposite of dividing by 5, which is multiply by 5. And then we'll do the opposite of this one, the first line, which is to add 2. So you don't actually have to solve these first ones. You just have to explain what's happening to it and what would be the steps to solve. Then on the next ones, we'll actually do some solving of some equations. So the first couple, the first steps are given for you, but not the answers. So in number 6, it says the first step is to undo addition, you should subtract. So to undo the plus 7, we should subtract 7. And that leaves us with 3t is equal to 12. And then our second step is to undo the multiplication, the times 3, we should divide. So we'll divide both sides by 3, and then we get our answer, of course. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And then this is to check. So to check, you replace t with 4, and 3 times 4 is 12, and 12 plus 7 is 19, so 19 does indeed equal 19, so it works. So on the next problems, you're going to do the steps to solve and then check your answer. Now in number 8 again, our first step is to undo the division. So the opposite of undoing, the way we undo division is we will multiply. So that tells you that the first thing that you should do to both sides of the equation is to multiply by 2. And when you multiply both sides by 2, it will cancel the 2 on the left side, and you'll just have z minus 3. And then on the right side, you still have to multiply and get 16. And then your last step is just to add 3 to both sides to undo the minus 3. And then there's several more problems to come just to review and practice and get ready for doing a few more complex problems in the rest of the folder to come. I just wanted to point out one more, number 16, we have the number on the left and the problem on the right, you would still do the exact same thing as before. In fact, if you prefer, you can rewrite this in this order, and then from there you can proceed. All right, remember, if you have any questions, please let me know, and we can work on some of these together. Thanks a lot and have a wonderful day.